Hello everyone, this is DavidViadel23 and welcome to the Mandrago's Cave. Today we are going to be talking about One Piece 1185. We come from a 1 week break, and after this episode we're going to go into another 1 week break. So Oda, I think, is taking his time to basically prepare all the lore that is dropping lately with the whole saga of Elbaf, the flashbacks, the Emu and everything. So obviously this video is gonna be completely full of spoilers. I'm gonna be talking about everything up to 1185. I have a theory about Candil. I don't think Candil is a good character. I don't think he's a good person. I think she is with the bad guys, even knowing what happens in this episode. We're gonna be seeing everything through now, but stay with me and I will go explaining a little bit why I understand this from what Oda is showing in the drawings, okay? Just the unwritten rule, basically, just through the drawings, why I understand this. I kind of start talking a little bit about this in the previous chapter that I'm going to put here while analyzing that previous chapter, and I'm drawing Candil and Ruin. So yeah, feel free to have a look to that video as well. And yeah, so we are gonna be drawing Brook as a kid. I think this must be the first kid Straw Hat that I'm drawing. If I do this, most likely I will end up drawing all of them, so we can add a little bit more of extra information of our current and already in the channel theories of the Straw Hats, so it can be good. And I like them. I like to draw them as a kids as well, so that's gonna be a very nice activity to draw here in the channel, okay? So, 1185, You All Better Boss Off is the title, and we have Boa Hancock cooking a lot of food, a lot of meat for Luffy. We start the episode with King Ruin and this image that I'm drawing today of Brook Kid. Basically, he is telling Candil that, okay, you are gonna take Brook under your command. He is gonna be learning from you everything, basically etiquette, fighting skills, everything. So Ruin wants a first in command Brook for the future. So we know that that's gonna happen, so that's gonna be very nice. We already suggested, because what happens in the previous episodes, that most likely she was gonna take on Brook and teach everything that she knows. That's good. I like that. The fighting style regarding swordsmanship, it's her style, the one that we see with Brook. So that was quite an obvious choice that Oda was gonna go for, an obvious path that he was gonna go for. So we do obviously the shoes here, and then this one. We don't have the official color, so when we reach the point that we need to paint the drawing, we are gonna be kind of taking a little bit as a reference black and white type of things, because Brook is black and white colors with the afro, with the skeleton and everything, and a little bit of purple, probably a little bit of blue, probably for maybe the trouser, or some theme here on the sword, that we're gonna be drawing the sword on the side as well, okay? So we have the boot, okay, like this, okay. So Brook is being Brook. He is very, let's say, excited about being around the people in the castle. He is a little bit perv, like in the present time, like Sanji. So he is obviously asking and talking with all the girls around and being silly. And this is something that I think is being a little bit too much with Brook, and specifically with Sanji. But it's in the line of their characters, so I expected something like this. But anyway, so Brook is being silly with the girls and everything. Candil is being quite familiar, friendly with him, kind of getting upset, like when Nami is getting upset. Even if I'm suggesting here that she is a bad guy, she is probably one of the God's Knights, most probably. Doesn't matter if she behaves in a silly way, because we have seen this in the past, for example, with Summers, that he is quite silly with Killingham, that he's been doing some silly things as well. And it could be for the sake of the cover that, yes, she's just playing her role, and sometimes he's letting her guard down. It could be. I want to know your opinion about Candile. I'm gonna obviously open the show more section, the comment section down below, where you can comment and express how do you feel about her, how do you think if there is a betrayal it's gonna happen, and if not, why would you say that she cannot be one of the bad guys. Okay, so let's do, obviously stay with me and listen what I have to say about the reasoning, and then after that we can discuss in detail why yes or why not. So we do here, and then we have the hands. He is holding the sword like this, very nice. So apparently Brook doesn't want to go to school, or he doesn't want to wear the uniform. He is a little bit more like fashion. He is being drawn the whole time in this mini flashback with a Spanish type of guitar. I'm not sure I like this. Brook is very famous as a character for the violin, okay? So he is always, since day one, playing the violin. We see him at the beginning in his first flashback with the Rumbar Pirates, and as well in the end scene of Thriller Bark when he joins Luffy, where he can play any instrument. He says he can play any instrument, and he's very good at this, okay? And that's good. But for the sake of character development, and for me to kind of, as a fan, as a reader, to basically stay with someone, there are some things that should stay. I would have preferred very much if instead of the guitar we have the violin. So he is since day one having kind of more affinity with violin, and he's able to play other instruments like the guitar, like the piano, and any other thing that you can chuck at him, okay? But here is like, is someone else. I see him like it's Brook, yes, but it's like someone else because he's not kind of carrying the same instrument. We don't see Brook playing the guitar in present time. We see him always with the violin, so that's a little bit off, in my opinion. I want to know how you feel about this as well. Candile seems a little bit motherly as well with him here, like even she may be having some sort of humanity there, okay, like showing a little bit of her real self from before being a bad guy. It could be interesting as well. All the other guys around Candile, obviously, that they are in her squad basically, because she is the leader of the captain of the squad here of the protecting the king, obviously. They are a little bit jealous. They're like, oh my god, I'm so jealous that you are, being the pupil of Candile, because she's very nice, she's very beautiful, she's very strong, so she has a lot of qualities that the guys there, they are in love with her, basically, like Oda portrays this type of relationship a lot with the characters, with male and female characters, that if she is beautiful and strong, is going to be admired by everyone. Sometimes it's even admired as well by girls as well, and Oda has no problem by drawing this kind of admiration. So she talks about she talks a little bit about who she likes. We know that she's going to be Ruen's partner, wife afterwards, and this is the hint of the previous the marriage. And at that point in the story where we are doing the flashback, they are not together. She's just the captain there, but she likes him, okay, and she's a little bit, with the face a little bit, like happy, smiley, like in love. And Brook, being silly as he is, he thinks that, you have enough by just being close to the person that you love. I mean, are you talking about me? It's me, the person that you love. Obviously, Brook here, it's a little kid, and Candile is like more adult, okay? And anyway, we keep seeing the flashback when Brook is, following her, trying to mimic her, shadowing her, and all of this obviously from the previous episodes is Brook having a flashback within a flashback, telling Shuri, the princess, the kid, that it's currently Gunko, all the memories of why he loves so much her parents, okay? Because, you know, they gave him a home, they gave him a purpose, they saved him from misery, and because of them he was able to learn about fighting, about swordsmanship, and about manners, okay? Kind of to become someone very elegant and strong, and to be able to protect his people, basically. So Shuri is kind of learning a lot from Brook. She's kind of under Brook's wing. Brook is the specific guardian, a little bit like Igaram and Bibi, okay? Like the protector, I would say. And he's basically 24/7 with her. Brook tells something very curious here, where he says that at some point, you know, unexpected visitors came to the Esperia kingdom. A massive ship ended up ashore here, and that was a Terribito, a world government ship. When something like this happens, is in general bad news. Okay, we know that we've seen something in this line in the past, where another Terribito ship ended up in Eugene Island, and then we had a lot of Rukus there. We know things like the stories with the Flamingo and characters that have been, you know, from royalty going into areas where there's commoners or lower rank people, and there's always a commotion here, okay? So what Brook says is that Candel was bedridden for a few months. Basically, this is something in the meaning of basically being unwell or not being able to perform her duties, okay? Something where you see her, something that by seeing her you wouldn't say, because she looks quite healthy, quite strong, the strongest actually. And then Brook continues, carrying on with everything. She's like, that's probably just stress, basically, because she was stressed about this visit, about these visitors, the Terribitos and everything. But that's a key for our concept. That's a key for what I'm trying to portray here. If my previous theory that I put there, the link, talking about Candil being already a bad person, working for the government, being one of the bad guys, if she is, doesn't matter if she's God Knight, doesn't matter if she's CP9, CP0, CP5, any CP, I think she's a planted agent. She's a operative, undercover, from the world government, like Ruchi, like Khalifa, like Kaku, like these guys, okay, were doing in Water 7, so they are there to get some information or to accomplish something specific, okay? I think because the looks of the King Ruin, at that point he's still Prince, because the looks of Blackbeard likeness, because the looks of Rock's likeness, this guy 100% it is gonna be a Buccaneer, and she was planted there to unravel all that information, to discover that actually he is a Buccaneer and confirm it, and at the same time maybe have family with him. So I think the Tenrybitos, in this case someone in the line of a Gorosei member, okay, goes there with a bunch of ships, and they talk to her, they activate her. If you like, let's say, Marvel Universe, you know, the MCU, the movies where you have, you know, Captain America, Thor and everything, there is one character called the Winter Soldier, and the Winter Soldier in those comics, in those movies, is connected to Steve Rogers, the Captain America, okay? So, in one of the missions, he falls, and they think he's dead. But he ends up being captured by the bad guys, by Hydra, and they kind of hypnotize him, and they experiment with him in a way that they make him a weapon, basically, a operative that they are able to activate whenever they want. They will say a code, some specific words, and this is in real life happens as well with some spies, okay? So there's hypnotism and things like this that it can happen as well. So in this movie, in this story with the Winter Soldier, they activate him, and when that happens, he can carry orders like he is a robot, basically. He is mind controlled. He has no will of his own. And the whole argument in the story here with the Winter Soldier and Steve Rogers is that he's not even able to recognize his friend from childhood, and they have to fight, etc., etc. If this is something in that line, it could be interesting that the ship comes ashore, they give her instructions, they activate her because she was planted there. Maybe until now she was being natural, she was being herself, but she was a little bit off. Now she's activated, and Brook continues talking about that, and he says, no, shortly after that, they got married. So remember, at this point, they weren't even a couple. Just a little bit after this Tenryubito visit, they got married, and probably somehow, I wanna say Kandil was the previous vessel. We have Gunko being the current vessel for Imu. I wanna say Kandil was the previous vessel. I wanna say Imu was able to transport his mind into Kandil's body and kind of force this marriage, probably control the newly appointed king, Ruin, and planned this whole marriage, basically. That's what I think what happens, okay? I know it's a little bit soap opera, but after seeing what's happening in Elbaf and having this flashback inside Elbaf, it has to be something in a similar line, okay? That is my opinion. I think Imu may have wanted to have a kid that is Gunko, not through Imu himself or herself, but through Kandil, and forced this arrangement. Then after, a little bit after that, Shuri was born. Brook says that Shuri is taken after her mother. No, she's very cute, she's very beautiful, and everything. There is a particularity with her that I mentioned already in the previous episode, and that is the eye, the heterochromy with the eyes. When you are creating a character, when you are doing something called character design, that's what I do as well, everything is important. Brook is not going to be carrying, I don't know, let's say, a spear, because he's not fighting with spears, he's fighting with swords. So all of this is going to be pointing towards spears. That's what I said at the beginning, that it's a little bit off for me, that randomly he's using now a guitar when his brand, let's say Brook's brand, is the violin, okay? So Shuri's eyes, in my opinion, I want to say, is because she is mixed. Maybe one of the eyes can be referring to Imu. There was darkness within Kandil when she was pregnant of Shuri, okay? And all of this marriage was created from this darkness, and she was made, let's say, like in a lab, she was made to become the next vessel. Imu thought, I've been changing bodies, like in Naruto, like Orochimaru, I've been changing bodies for some time. The bodies last, let's say, 20 years, 30 years, but I am immortal. So how can I make a body that is going to be more resistant? Let's find myself a buccaneer. I am obviously not going to go myself to the kingdom and reveal myself, but I can send some puppet, my current vessel, Kandil, there, have a kid with the king, with a buccaneer. So that kid is going to be super strong physically, is going to be able to resist more pain if I'm inflicted more pain, and I may be able to live longer. I think that is my opinion. I think that is the particularity of the buccaneers, that they are very resistant. It is explained with Kuma's past that the buccaneers have more resistance than other races. Okay, so it could be that they went for that idea. I want to know your opinion about this. I think it wouldn't be a crazy concept, I would say. I think it's quite something that you may expect to happen, because this is weird. This is not a flashback where you see a clean love is been happening suddenly, is been happening in a forced way, in my opinion, and it doesn't fit the common love language that Oda always has in One Piece. But it's interesting. So obviously we continue talking, Shuri and Brook, and she's like, "Oh, this is just, you're protecting me because you just love my parents, blah, blah, blah. What would you do if I'm in danger?" No? And Brook is like, "Oh, I will sacrifice myself for you," basically, because he's like her daughter, basically. Very interesting as well that because we already had the emotional story with Laboon in One Piece, this whole story, new story with Brook, it's a little bit weird, no? Why is that? That is happening because we are seeing Brook now in a happy scenario. I said, since the beginning of knowing that they had some sort of relation, Brook and Shuri, I told you we were gonna be seeing some tragic stuff. We are not gonna see a happy ending, or, well, no ending, but not a happy infancy for Brook. We need to see cruel things. We need to see, I mentioned it, how the king's gonna die, Candil is gonna die or betray, the Shuri is gonna die as well, or is gonna disappear as well. That's why Brook thought that she was dead, basically. The kingdom is gonna be completely destroyed. We talk about all of these things. And at the very end of the flashback, what we need to see is how Captain Yorkie, captain of the Rumbar Pirates, is gonna take in Brook, and Brook is gonna become a pirate and everything. How Brook needs to eat his fruit and everything. Okay, so I think Oda is setting the story in a way that Brook already knew of Imu. Brook is ancient, obviously. Imu is ancient, but kind of creating this connection of an immortal being like Imu so far may be tied or connected, or I don't know how to explain it, but the storylines can converge with another being that is immortal at the moment so far, that is Brook, okay, with the concept of the skeleton, the concept of not being able to die like that. So I like it. I am enjoying it a lot. I want to see more. I want to see what Oda has in store for us. It is quite interesting. In the meantime, Brook is training Shuri. Shuri is very, very strong so far, and I like it. The father is not liking that much, I think, but obviously it's a normal thing, like in this One Piece world, that you get physically strong as well, because this is about fighting, basically, and about pirates. Candil is there, smiley, so I think in some moments she may have flashes of happiness, but I would say this is only to confuse the reader. I think it's only to confuse us and to give us to understand that she's good. But the rest of the things talking to me in the drawings, in the actions, and in the way that she is being drawn as well, this kind of forced or fake smile of Candil, or maybe that I want to smile, but I am not allowed to smile. That's why I read through the drawing, so it's interesting. So we see a couple of drawings, nice drawings, where Brook is overprotective of Shuri, like Igaram is with Bibi, basically. Like she's having a little scratch, and then Brook is running with the med kit to save her. It's raining and he's putting the umbrella. He's measuring her to see how tall she is, basically like a father, like a custodian father. And it's interesting. There's funny moments as well where Brook is chasing girls and Shuri is getting upset as well, or playing around, singing around, and all of this. With the title of the episode, that I do not find a connection at the moment. Maybe someone was able to decipher why the name will be in connection to what happens. Like at the moment, I don't find maybe a translation issue with that, but I don't find a relevance with the title. It's just a part of the song. Sometimes Oda does things like this, and later. Like the drums of liberation and the sake of beings and everything, maybe all of those sentences in the song end up having some sort of meaning later, okay? But I don't know about that. So when Shuri is 15, specifically, the instruments in Esperia, that Esperia is a musical kingdom, a lot of people here is playing instruments, the music starts to fade, basically. The music starts to die. The kingdom starts to die. There is a mysterious steam, like a gas, like a mist that is covering the kingdom, and this mist is some sort of toxic compound element that is making everyone ill. A lot of people dies because of this. Brook, because he is very positive, because he enjoyed basically his childhood and was saved by Ruin and everything. He's been always a very positive guy. So we see how people is dying. The kingdom is dying, everything is dying. Brook is trying to be positive, okay? He's trying to see, and he cannot fix this problem, but at the same time, he doesn't want to lose himself to this, okay? So, let's do the lines for this. 1 second. So, I don't do a mix of lines. So, the queen is talking like the fog needs to disappear. We need to clear the fog somehow and everything, and she ends up being one of these people who dies. I did not feel sad about her. When someone dies, let's say Belemer, we are sad. We are sad, we are affected. You see all the guys drawn there, like Shuri is crying a lot, Brook is crying, everyone is crying, all the kingdom is crying, all of the kingdom is in difficulty, poor, with ragged clothes and everything, but crying for the queen, no? Her face, once again, is of a person without feelings, a person who has been cut of feelings, implanted, operative, into a place that she doesn't belong, in my opinion. She is cold looking in a normal state, and I do not like it. It gives me suspicion that something is going on. So I would say my theory here is that she is not dead. My theory here is that Shuri reached the point where she awakened the concept of being a vessel. From her body, she expelled some sort of gas that lingered in the territory, in the island, and that gas is killing people. Why? Because this birth of her was done through the darkness of Imu, through the power that Imu has, okay, using Candil, and when she awakened, like there is, you know, the sweet 16 when they do the birthday, when they grow old as well in some other cultures. When you are 18, you are now an adult. When you are 16, you are now an adult. So I think he's trying to portray, Oda is trying to portray this passing from childhood to puberty, okay, to start to becoming an adult with this gas. So Candil wasn't necessary anymore, because Shuri has reached a point that she can become Imu's vessel. Imu now can take over her body and her mind and use her as a puppet that we have seen, and it becomes Gunko, okay? So I think this is what's happening here. The kingdom carries on in sadness. Shuri is training and training and training non-stop. She is very strong. There is a nice drawing when she is using Estocade against Brook, and Brook is stopping the attack. Brook, under the rain, again, under the rain, they are talking. The rain is something ominous in some stories, is something sad in some stories that is giving you signs that something bad is going to happen as well, okay? So under the rain, he says, oh, you know, the way you move, sometimes I think that you can see the future. This is haki, basically. This is observation haki. That a kid, even if it is trained by Brook, maybe at that point, well, Luffy was having haki already there, but not everyone is going to have haki like that. If she's already being possessed by Imu, okay, this may be something that can be awakening faster because of Imu. So there are things here, there are clues here that, in my opinion, as a storyteller, as a world builder, is telling us that something is off, okay? We have finished the sketch more or less. I'm gonna jump into probably fine liner 0.3, I think 0.3 is gonna be good. And we're gonna start drawing our Brook, the face and everything of our Brook, okay? So I may have done the eyes a little bit too close. Let me see if I can just move them a little bit like this. Yeah, much better now. Yeah, it works better like this. So Shuri is training. She wants to fight on the front line. Brook is saying, yeah, that will be very epic, very nice, but I don't think your father is going to allow that. We cut into, you know, when in real life, obviously, when someone dies, everyone is very affected. Or if your partner or your son or your father dies, you are very affected. So Ruin is destroyed, basically. We see in the image that he has suffered a lot of pressure from many sides, probably. And he declares that the world government is our enemy. Brook says in the image before that his destiny, his future is tied with the king, and whatever the king says, he's gonna do. He owns him, his life, and you know, there's the mention about becoming pirate, and Brook said, well, I can postpone that, or that can wait. You know, my own things can wait. And straight away here, the king says, the world government, the Gorosei, the Tenryubitos are our enemy. This means war. And Brook, without question, because he's the number one there, understood. And then he straight away goes to fight, basically. The rest of the guards, they are like normal people, and they don't owe anything to anyone. They are like, what's going on? Why is this happening? Have you gone mad, basically? There is a troubled face in Ruin, troubled expression, where he's like, you know, pressing the teeth and saying Brook, like, for himself, like he's kind of, this guy is following my orders without questioning. He knows that maybe what he's asking is crazy and very dangerous, and Brook has no doubt in his mind, but I think the king is in conflict here at the moment. So he's obviously happy that Brook will do whatever he wants him to do, but at the same time, he's like, you know, being my friend, that's what I read, being my friend, maybe you should question something that maybe is not okay for me to do. Like maybe you want to question this decision, and we don't go to war, because war is going to be dangerous for everyone. A lot of people may die here, okay? So I think what I read is that maybe the king was not disappointed, but thinking, man, I would have preferred him questioning me, you know, questioning me and saying, oh, wait, hold on a minute, why are we going to do this? You know, your daughter may die, you may die, why are we doing this exactly? But he didn't ask any question. So the king is going to tell everyone anyway. So he says, you know, because we cannot pay the heavenly tribute, all the territories, all the kingdoms belonging to the world government, they have to pay a tribute. Every year they will give money, jewels, support, supplies, people, everything, no? And this is something that we know because it happened already in multiple cities, in multiple islands, that we have seen this idea, this concept, okay? And basically, because this gas that destroyed half of the kingdom and a lot of people died, because they fell into misery, basically, with all this gas, when Shuri is born, 15 years ago. No, when Shuri is born, no. When Shuri is 15 years old, when she basically grows, they say, you cannot pay? Okay, give us people, give us warriors, so we can have slaves, so we can make slaves of them to do with them whatever we want. Obviously, Ruen knows what happens with the slaves in Marijua, because he probably has been to the Reverie and everything. Now he's king. Coincidentally, when the visit of the Rebitos happens, that Candil falls ill, mysteriously, the father of Ruen, that we haven't seen his face. Why? I don't know, because he may be looking quite similar to a Blackbeard. He dies, so then Ruen takes over and he becomes king, okay? So there are so many pieces in this chessboard that they don't fit in a way of why, why. So Brook is walking around the town. We see the drawings of the people, of the commoners, of the villagers there, all wearing ragged clothes, very dirty, very worried, crying, asking Brook if this is the end, if they are gonna hunt them. And the way that they may hunt them is because obviously we have this concept, this idea of the games that they have, like the game that they do in God Valley. Okay, this is before God Valley. We are talking about 70 years ago, I think it was, 60 years ago. God Valley is around 38 years ago. There is a mention here of them, of the villagers, that they say, oh, there is another kingdom that disappeared some time ago. Which one was that? We do not know, because Ohara disappears, but Ohara is more modern. It happens more in modern times, when Robin was a kid, so maybe that's around 15 years ago. And there is another one. So which one is going to be that one? We do not know. It may be that where Ennis Lobby is, that there was a hole. Maybe that place was eradicated, like eradicated Lulusia quite recently, with that weapon that I think is one of the ancient weapons. I'm going to put here my theory about the mechanical ancient weapons, where I explain that most likely the moon is what they are using to destroy these territories. And the moon is some sort of Death Star, like in Star Wars. And when Imu is going to use it against Luffy, we will have a mole in the moon that is gonna frustrate Imu's plans to shoot that beam of energy, and that's gonna be Enel. Okay, the god Enel is gonna come back and have his return in a very fancy and epic way. That is my opinion. That what I think is gonna happen. Okay, so I leave you there with the whole collection. You have individual videos about the weapons. You have individual videos about Enel, Shirahoshi, Crocodile, okay, Momonosuke as well, with all the people, with all the people I think is involved in that kind of pastiche, that mix of superpowers, let's say, okay? So feel free as well to come back after that if you watched some of those videos, and we can open a conversation to see why yes and why not. I love to discuss things about One Piece, so I invite you to comment and express your opinion, and let's argue, obviously always without the politeness, to see why it could be and why it couldn't be. Okay, so the nails here, this is the wrapping that the sword has, like this. I think the sword is a little bit off, but now I don't think we can do much more for that. Okay, maybe we do like this and like this. So Brook starts singing. When in One Piece we have songs, it's a little bit difficult to follow. It's a bit difficult to follow because the translation, because what it's saying. So it's basically, as I understand, the song is about you have nothing to lose and we need to fight, basically. As soon as the song finishes, the world government is here. There is a massive fleet coming to, in theory, to pick up the slaves, but straight away they're attacking. So that's because Ruin said, there is no way I'm going to give you my people, we're going to fight. So they went all in. And this, it is, in my opinion, Buster Call. This is no games, this is no Tenryubitos are going there to do a hunt. This is a Buster Call in all his letters, basically. Brook is fighting, he's running towards the port, running back towards the castle to try to save as many people as possible. He's cutting them all. Brook, at the time of death, let's say, before he dies, he is having a 30 million wanted poster, okay, a bounty on his head of 30 million. 30 million is what Luffy has at the beginning, and if you check with inflation, like 70 years ago, in reality, Brook must have been, in present time, if he is the prime Brook, nowadays, he would be around 400 400 million, basically. That's super strong. When he meets Luffy, that he is not that strong is because obviously Oda needs to cap a little bit his power. So Luffy can have a guy who is at that level at that point, because not even Luffy is at that point, or not even Zorro is at that point. So obviously when Brook becomes bones, when he dies, he has no muscle anymore, he's just bones. And obviously the strength basically that he had in the muscles and everything, I will say that Brook has been capped from 100% to maybe 10%. 10% is the power that he's able to draw from his attacks. That's why he's not able to win against Ryuma, to defeat Moria or anything like that, because this Brook here, this one, in the present time, in the flashback, the young Brook, captain of the guard, that guy is strong. That guy is strong. Here, he's running, he's cutting all of them, he's sheathing the sword like he's fighting always. I have to say as well, different style of fighting. He's not having his particular style that we know him now for, okay? With some sort of esgrima type of thing that he's doing now. Now he's doing more like a musketeer type of fight, and it's interesting, but it's a little bit different as well, I have to say, yeah? He keeps going, there are enemies everywhere, nothing is stopping him, he's cutting everyone, and then he reaches the throne room. In the throne room, he sees chaos, basically. This is the last double spread, the last panel here. So we see how he opens the door, and the king is dead. Shuri just stabbed him with the sword and killed him. Shuri is looking like a demon, okay? So here that means that she is Domi Reversi or possessed by Imu, okay? I would say this is not Domi Reversi, this is Imu possessing the body. This is what we are seeing in Gunko in the current time. The Domi Reversi is more out of control, okay? The king, if you notice on the floor, has wings as well and tiny horns. That means that the king, like in Elbaf, that's why I said the parallelism, that's why I said we have this flashback inside Elbaf, because it is the same concept. The king has horns, like Domi Reversi. The king has been affected by Domi Reversi. Probably the king was already in Domi Reversi since the Terribitos came in the past, and many things that he has been doing, many decisions that he has been taking, like maybe the king himself, Ruin, and Candil, being a bad one, maybe they killed the previous king, they took over the kingdom, they had a kid, and not 100% of the times when you are controlled on your Domi Reversi, you need to have the wings, okay? This is like when Imu is basically letting you loose to fight, basically. So I think Ruin tried to fight back, and Shuri just transformed. Imu took over, Shuri transformed, killed him, and yeah, that's shock. I told you, that's gonna be crazy. That was gonna be sad for Brook. It was gonna be painful for Brook. He was gonna end up broken because of this, and yeah. So Shuri is even joking, like that the war is finishing now, that the king is dead. No, aren't you happy with that? That we are not gonna be fighting anymore? The madness on her face, licking the blood of her face, like very sadistic, very animalistic. Like we see that there is no dream in her eyes, so it is not Imu then. That means that Shuri is actually child of the devil, basically, and she is gonna be doing like a puppet type of thing. So the eyes are very different of what we have seen so far with the possessed ones, so it's interesting. There is multiple characters here. We can start with the one on the left hand side of the image. There is like a bird looking character, shadowy, with the eyes there. If you remember, we have the Gorosei, and the Gorosei transform into mythological creatures from the Japanese folklore, like yokais, okay? There is one of them that it's a bird, the Saint Marcus Mars, the warrior god of the environment, the tall guy with the long beard that looks a little bit like Gunfall. That is always, when we portray the Gorosei, he's the one that is most of the time standing behind, okay? He is represented by the Itsumate, that's a giant bird yokai looking like a little bit like a crazy bird, like a little bit like a mix between a flamingo, a phoenix, and something a little bit bizarre. So I think because the stories in One Piece need to connect with many characters, we had Saturn being the one, you know, the god of science, and he was the one connected with Vegapunk, Kuma, whatever happened with Bonnie, all of these things. And we had a lot of Saturn until he was eliminated by his own master, Imu, executed basically. We cannot have him doing all the homework for Imu, all the deliveries for Imu. So in this saga, there's going to be another Gorosei, and I think the choice, obviously, as you can see there with the bird, with the beak and everything, and with the bird, the eyes and everything, it is actually Mars there. So it's interesting. We need now in the next episode to see how he takes form, or he talks. I like to see how Brook, in the past, in this flashback, when he was alive, he already made contact with the Gorosei. We see a Brook that is not scared of Big Mom, he's not scared of anyone, he's just the boss. And now, lately in Elbaf as well, he's been the boss as well. So now we understand that Brook, the whole time, was at another level. He was, you know, playing in the major league since the very beginning, no? When he joined Luffy, etc. Yeah, whatever. I lost everything, and I think the only thing I have left to remember myself is Laboon. I can go back to Laboon, that is my dream, because my family, the rest of my people, is completely dead. And now he discovers this pre-flashback, being still hot, being still alive, you know, with the concept of Shuri, the God's Knights, the Imu concept and everything, and he's remembering everything now. Is cool. So there is gonna be a moment when we come back where Brook needs to interact maybe more with Imu, or actually Brook and Usopp were actually the first ones being taken out by Imu as well, with just one hit. So that's interesting as well. And at some point we need to defeat a Gorosei. It would be nice if we defeat a Gorosei. So if you give Brook a past with this one, and maybe he is the one who ends up killing him, it will be good, okay? Because all of this. The Straw Hats are not characters who normally kill. Remember that this is a shonen, and in a shonen you don't have sex scenes, you don't have killings if it is not absolutely necessary. If you have killings, most of the time are in flashback, like we are seeing now King Ruin being eliminated. We don't see that, you know. What we have seen is Ace, Whitebeard, you know, a couple of characters like that, but the rest are all of them from the flashbacks. So it will be epic that we are making a setup to some of the Gorosei maybe being taken out by us, by the Straw Hats. We want all of them to be connected. We want all of them to have an importance. And if we are giving so much information now about Brook, we're receiving all of this info about Brook, all this lore. I said it before, we had Sanji, we had a little bit of Zoro, we had a little bit of Luffy, we had a little bit of Robin. We need to see all of them. Nami is gonna be the last one. Nami is 100% daughter of Imu. That in 900 years ago battle, when they fought against Joy Boy, Nami was there already as a baby, and she was teleported, she was saved from the battle, from the bad guys, by someone who cut the Toki fruit before. I do not discard the idea that Toki actually is the one who sent Nami into the future, and that will be beautiful. Her flashback is gonna be the last one. Mark my words here. Come back to this video, mark my words, save this video, and we will talk about it going forward. I have obviously the theory, the full theory here that you can click that and see why this can happen and how this could work, but it could be very, very interesting. So we have all the black tone added here to our kit Brook. Okay, I'm gonna be now adding a little bit of color, let's say maybe yellow. I'm gonna erase a little bit this. I like to leave the, I like to leave the pencil sometimes, but if I have to add some clear tones like yellow, it's better if we just erase a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna make this like goldy because we are talking about royalty and these guys are very strong, and it should be like this. I wanna do the mouth here. We do like this and like this, and then we wanna do the skin. We're gonna use this brown like this a little bit. There is another guy that we haven't mentioned yet. Okay, there is a very elegant dressed guy with a hat, smoking a cigarette, with a cape as well. That guy looks 100% like he may be a God's Knight. Okay, this is like we are seeing here in Elbaf. Like we have Summers, we have Killingham, we have Gunko. This probably is the guy that they have sent to make sure that this mission is done. Okay. It is obvious that the guy looks a little bit like Blacksbeard swordsman Ame no Shiryu, Shiryu of the Rain, the jailer in Impel Down, the second in command in Impel Down for some time together with Magijan, but it is not the same. Okay, the style of clothing looks similar, but it is not the same. This guy, if you look at the lips, yes, and the cigar and everything is pretty similar, but the nose is like an arrow type of design, okay, like a long nose going down. Shiryu has like a very tiny type of nose that it will be more when you try to represent a shark, a predator shark, and we see that as well with Hody Jones. So he resembles more with the nose to Hody Jones than to this character. The style, the flair, the aura that he has, it is, yes, pretty similar to him, but I do not think they are related whatsoever. If Oda is gonna, take out of the hat now by surprise that this is, the grandfather of Shiryu, good. I don't think we care. I don't think that is necessary at all. But Shiryu, and I'm gonna put it here, Shiryu is not a character at Zoro's level to be a final fight. So in that theory that I explain why Vista, the sword flower, is gonna be the one getting Diamond's fruit, and because the shape, because the design, because the evilness of the character design for him, he is our guy to defeat with full body haki like Virgo, with Diamond fruit like Kosu, and Nito Ryu. That is one level extra than Zoro used to be at the beginning with the Ito Ryu with Wado Ichimonji. So, very interesting. We need to have Brook completely destroyed by this God's Knight. We need to have the Gorosei take Shuri and disappear, and the God's Knight is gonna stay and kill Brook. Obviously, Brook is gonna fight till the last minute. He's gonna try to get Shuri so Shuri can't leave, but I don't think Brook can win here, okay? I think Brook needs to be defeated by this guy, left almost to die, maybe because this is royalty, we are talking about Brook in a way that you know, he has become one more of this kingdom, where there is a lot of power in this kingdom, and they may have a fruit here. I don't know how they are gonna get the fruit. I think the whole concept of the fruit, in my opinion, it is more connected to Jorki. I think Jorki, the guys are the ones telling him, oh, you know, maybe you want this and that, and what is gonna happen with your fruit. So I suspect Jorki that they belong to this kingdom as well, and they may say, ooh, the kingdom is in danger, we need to save our families, let's go and try to save even the king, you know, the good pirates, like peace-main pirates that are like Luffy. And they may actually go there when everything is done and find an unconscious Brook, almost dead, and give him the fruit. Obviously the fruit cannot react now because it's only one life extra, and that's gonna happen later when he dies with the Rumbar pirates. But maybe the fruit moment is coming closer and closer, and it will be very nice. I would like to see that very much. I want to see a Straw Hat eating a fruit, okay? And that's gonna happen pretty soon, I would say. Let's do symbols in yellow, why not? And then I think I want to do, this is like a cloth, maybe I will do it in black, like this. Yes, like it's like wrapped in a cloth, very elegant, like this. And we do all of these, the lines, okay? Gray for here, and the asphalt, let's say that they are walking in the city, so maybe it's asphalt or something, like this. Brook is very happy and has a little bit of redness here on the face because he's very happy and excited, and seeing all the girls as well, so we draw all of these bits and pieces. The eyes can have some shadow as well, like this, more and more. And now, while he's adult, he has been drawn like Blackbeard when he was a baby, so there is a connection that we cannot deny when talking about character design. So I'm waiting to see what this is gonna be exactly. I wanna know if you feel like me. Maybe you are seeing all of this and you are like, it doesn't matter, it doesn't need to be connected, but it looks like it will be, okay, in my opinion. So let's see if I maybe just add a tiny bit more of 0.3 to pump a little bit the face, maybe. Let's do that here, with the eyebrows here, with the eyes. Yeah, like this. If you are enjoying the videos and everything as well, feel free to, you know, say it in the comment section, subscribe and all of these things, send it to your nakamas, to your friends, so they can actually see these theories as well, and comment, and we engage in theories and in conversations. I enjoy a lot that. I try to reply to every message I see as well, so that is good. And yeah, so we can create a little bit of theories here. Let's do the lips, thick lips that he has like this, yeah, and the top one as well, like this. So today we have been analyzing One Piece 1185, okay, talking about how I still think Candile is operative, planted here. And I think that all along the plan was for her to have a kid with the king, so Imu could have a new vessel, a vessel that is improved, a vessel that is part buccaneer, a vessel that can live more, resist more, because maybe Candile is limited to a human time. Okay, maybe he's gonna live 60 years and he's gonna die, he's gonna get old, maybe. Shuri, Gunko, maybe, because being part buccaneer through Ruin, maybe she can live, I don't know, 200 years, she can live maybe more, okay? We don't know the timeline yet. Blackbeard is a buccaneer, yes, and Blackbeard, Marco mentions at some point, yeah, we know that his body is special. His body is special because he is buccaneer. we know that Buccaneers through Kuma, they are more resistant. Is that the specialty that he has? We do not know. We will learn that soon? No, we will learn that at the end of the story when we need to fight him. Okay, when we need to fight him is when Oda will release in the last moment that information. Okay, looking nice. Looking nice. I say as well that here is where we are gonna see Brook being defeated by this mysterious God's Knight. This is where we are gonna see soon Brook being saved from this O'Hara situation like Robin by probably Yorkie. That's why he pledges his life to Yorkie afterwards. Brook is like a servant. Okay, he's very respectful. He wants to honor the things that people has done for him. So the king saved him. He honors the king until he dies, basically. And then Yorkie is gonna save him. He's gonna honor Yorkie until Yorkie makes him the captain. And then after that, we're gonna see Luffy saving him, and he's gonna honor his life to Luffy, his immortal life to Luffy. So it's very honorable, Brook. I'm liking him more and more, and I cannot wait to see more things happening with him. Surprisingly, because I wasn't expecting now to have a Brook momentum, but I'm enjoying it like a kid, you know. I'm enjoying it like a kid, to be honest. The drawing is done, the explanation is done. Let's open conversation in the show more section, and now sign off for the day. This is DavidViadel23, DavidViadel23. You can say it as you want, and this is the Mantra House Cave. I hope you enjoyed the video, I hope you enjoyed the drawing, and I'll see you in next one. Thank you very much. Bye.